Hello, friends. It's a sad time to be a fantasy manager in this league. Maybe your team didn't break 60 this week. Maybe you just felt left out from getting an offer from Dan that included DJ Moore and Damian Harris today. Maybe you were one of the three opponents Ben set a full lineup against this season. Maybe you're nervous because Shawl and Peter, the biggest memers in the league, might make you their next victim, and they're on a winning streak. But it's okay. We are going to make it through this because this podcast will get you through this.
Come here, neighbor.
Come here, neighbor. That was an ode to Arrested Development, if you didn't know that one, but little too.
Nick, it's good to have you on the pod. Obviously, a bit of a rough week. I mean, I think you might have had one of the most impressive performances of the week. We will get into that as we go. You said under 60 points. I'm glad you looped Chris into that with you, because if we go less than 50, Chris eclipse 50.
I originally wrote that.
But
took it out.
You got to take another soldier down with you. I get it. Dan, how are you?
Never been better. Coming off a 2-game win streak where I don't combine for 190. Getting good matchups. Can't feel better.
Hey, you're riding that luck streak. Sometimes you just got to do it to get by and get a few wins, even when your team doesn't perform. So Nick, any other thoughts as we get going here on the pod?
Not today.
All right,
let's get into it.
Let's jump into it. And I realize I got to make one change, and we're ready to go. Let me share. Where are you, Zoom? There you are.
I would like to make an announcement to fellow league members that
we know DJ Moore and Damian Harris are on the chopping block. So anything
Seriously?
So my phone is broken, and I have been unable to post in the GroupMe. So just know that I am making a list of everyone who wrongs me meme-wise, and the retribution is on its way.
I am thoroughly looking forward to getting meme.
Chris.
Basically this entire league. All right. Well, episode 7. We're 7 episodes in. Most podcasts don't make it this long. They usually crash and burn after about 3 or 4. So 7, we're over the hill, boys. Kind of like me. All right. Let's get into the weekly recap. What stands out to you here, Nick?
Yeah, this was easily the lowest scoring week across our league. Our average was below 100 this week, when typically we can expect 115 to 120 points across the board. So that was a big one. It just was a weird week. All the studs kind of threw up. No quarterback really did it for anybody. Maybe, you can give the credit where credit due is to my opponent, Ben, with Lamar Jackson. But other than that, it felt like an odd week from that standpoint. So I'm going to say that you can't take anything from this week going forward, and my team's actually really good.
Love the optimism, buddy. All right. If you're listening on Sirius XM, you didn't see the head shake no after he said that. So
I stink.
Dan, over to you.
Yeah, I think 2 things really shine through on this week, and that is the numbers 46 and also the number 57. They are 2 sad numbers from 2 sad teams. I've tried to approach Chris from many angles with trades, and he flat denies all of them. But before he does that, an old lady gossiping to her church friends, he has to run to every guy in the league. Oh, you'll never guess what Dan offered me, just to deny me. So I would like to announce that I am blackballing Chris from any trade talks with me for the rest of the season.
All right. And I didn't know that we were just going to have this all to be about Dan, but I should have expected it. His recap about how his trade he wanted didn't go. We all feel really bad about it. A couple things stand out to me here. Dan, any other things you'd like to say about yourself? Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure you got it all out. 6 of 9 teams that Nick did not play this week would have beat him with the top 3 scores that they had. Tough look. The other sabermetric I have is $5. I'm a part of the winning again. So Nick, I look forward to $5 with your name written all over it. But also Shawl, another 19-point performance from a defense. I did not dive into sabermetrics, but Shawl has been an expert at streaming defenses this year. He had another 19-point performance, which is fantastic. His team is obviously on the up and up. And as we get into the weekly pick'em, we may or may not have had our first 5-0 in the weekly pick'em. So nothing that obviously surprised somebody who picked all 5 correctly here. I think things played out as I expected. I did not expect a couple of the low scores out there, but hey, that's our weekly recap. Any other thoughts before we jump ahead here?
I plan on getting that money to you by just getting in a hand with Shawl, where he gets 2 pair and there's an open-ended straight on the board and he's willing to call down what, $40? Was that the official number, boys?
44.
It was about $40. I think Shaw played that great. I think he played it fine until the river. The river re-raise was not smart. I'm okay to have it see, but then the 9 comes out, 9 to queen on the board. Not a great look, and you don't even have the bottom part of the straight. So Shaw, we'll talk about it later. And Ryan from New Jersey, this is no slander against Shaw. This is just us helping a friend out playing.
True.
Poker.
I
So,
love the move for Shaw. I think he should continue to play that game.
hey, just like fantasy, you can only win against bad opponents, I guess. Shaw, I actually think you're good at poker, though. That's a knock on Dan. All right, let's keep going.
Hey.
All right, we got our power rankings, and I don't have any reveal here today.
Pete.
But we're going to start with the smartest on the podcast, like we usually do, and that was rewarded this week with not just actuarial analyst, but senior actuarial analyst in about 10 days. Nicholas Clement, take it away.
Yeah, I guess I must have been focusing on work a little bit too much because, yeah, I plummeted in the power rankings again this week. Milk stays strong at number 1. My biggest riser, which across the board, everyone loves Shaw. His team is awesome. He's up to number 2, which is crazy given the fact that he was number 9 and 10 in the rankings just a couple weeks ago. I've got Pete High. He continues to put up big numbers. He is a great listener. When it comes to fantasy trades, he's willing to negotiate with you. So I see him potentially making a move here within the next couple of weeks to bolster his team even farther. Toy was my biggest drop. I had not had Alex. Let me see quick. I don't believe I had Alex outside of my top 2 since we started this podcast. He has dropped to 4 pretty quickly. The gravy train that is Mike Williams has ran out. I think he's had injuries with his quarterback and whatnot. So he needs to start figuring out what he's going to do to get back into the top 3. Number 5 is Ben. Hey, when Ben sets a lineup, his team is great. He's got Adams, he's got Jackson, Deontay Johnson. Can we expect that moving forward? Maybe. He said hunting is done next week, so maybe he'll be more into it by that time. Dan, you fell in my rankings this week. You continue to not put up points, which is the biggest mystery in the league, why that is happening. I applauded you for all the trades you were able to make in the beginning of the year. Your trade offers have gotten a little sticky in the recent weeks. You offer up the same players over and over, hoping something will change. You're kind of not willing to get off your big guys anymore. I think you're going to need to really hit the drawing board on your team if you want to make it and go far in the playoffs. The bottom 4.
Ooh. Oh,
What?
baby. I don't know. That just got juicy. Carry on.
All right. Well, I'm not going to spend much time on the bottom 4. The 4 of us stink. At least Cole's got some players coming back from buys and Chris too, but Berg and I are terrible. I really envision us 4 being the 4 that don't make the playoffs. So those are my rankings.
Dan, after the slander that just happened, why don't you take it away?
You know, I think you can take it away, Shefty. I think there might be some news that needs to be dropped.
Okay. Did you make a trade for Damian and DJ Moore?
For-
You might want to check your sources. There's been a big news break.
Where's my phone? Did you actually just make a trade?
All right, Dan, bring it home.
Okay, huge trade in this league that no one saw coming. Ben crawls out of his tree stand to get a deal done this morning. It's a big 3-team deal that includes
Wow.
big names around this league. So I've drawn up a graph to describe the trade to the viewers. So I am going to grab the screen.
I love this interactive experience.
David
David Hasselhoff taking the lead.
Yeah, this is. Oh, I got to give you permission.
Yeah, please do.
All right.
Okay. One moment.
I bet I have a good idea where this is all going.
I bet you don't.
You, him, and Berg.
That's not true.
Can't wait to see who the third team is then.
It is Berg, but
Yeah.
all right. Can you see this?
We can. Trade alert. Are you going to type it out?
Oh, I love this. Oh my
So-
goodness.
Berg is giving up Chubb and the Hawk, who's arriving at my team.
Oh my
I can
gosh.
Up Kamara and T. Higgins that goes to Ben. I get Devontae Adams. Berg gets Chris Carson. I give DJ Moore and Damian Harris to Berg, and me and Berg swap kickers and defenses.
Wow. Okay. Let's look at it from one person at a time. So Berg, he's giving up Chubb and Hawkinson, and he is getting back DJ Moore, Damian Harris, and Chris Carson.
I like that.
Kickers and defenses, whatever.
I like
So
that.
is Carson supposed to play this week? Is that official?
Gonna practice tomorrow.
Okay. Is he going to try and grab Alex Collins from Ben? I wonder if that'll be part of
Alex
the deal.
Collins is a free agent.
Oh, he dropped him. Okay. Okay, so he got some depth at running back and gave away tight end. Oh yeah, he's got Kittle, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. That's all right. From
That's a
Ben's
solid trade for
perspective,
Berg. I like that trade for Berg.
Ben is giving up Devontae Adams and Chris Carson, and he's getting back Kamara and T. Higgins. That's an interesting trade. It depends on how high he is on Carson. If he's really, really low on him, then it makes sense. I think if he's giving up Carson just kind of for free over in this trade. And then from Dan's perspective, it looks like Kamara, DJ Moore, Harris, and Higgins for Chubb, Hawk, and Adams. That is pretty fair. Pretty good deal. I love that, Dan. Thanks for proving me wrong that you can make a trade that doesn't include just those two guys. You proved me wrong. You proved me wrong time and time again.
I was
Hey.
on the phone with Nick earlier today, and I said I think the piece that Dan has to move to get a deal done is Kamara. So I'm happy to see you do it.
Yeah, it's a deal that I've looked into. I've flip-flopped back and forth. Once I realized that no one wants DJ Moore, I knew I had to dig a little further into my bag of tricks. So it's gonna be nice to have Devontae Adams, the Chubster back on my team.
I will give a little spoiler as well. I don't think this will come out in time for the deal to be nixed or anything, but from Ben's perspective, Kamara is trending towards potentially not playing this week. They worked out 3 guys this week for running back, and the rumor is that Kamara got banged up.
Yeah.
So I would get that trade going before Pete posts this.
The trade's already accepted.
All right.
I mean, it's not accepted in fantasy, but it's 3 men's word.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I love it.
All right. So walk us through your power rankings.
yeah. So I have myself a little higher on power rankings. I knew this deal was done. I had some insider intel. So yeah, I have Milk first. That's self-explanatory. He continues to perform. Shaw, just powering up through the rankings. This is going to be a big make it or break it week for Shaw. He's got some guys on bye week. He's up against me, Devontae Adams all of a sudden. Then it gets to Toy. Toy's team has been bad, but he's getting the same kind of courtesy that I've gotten through these weeks of, hey, you've underperformed. You've lost games. Your team isn't as good as we thought it was, but we know it has the capabilities. You're still up at the top. You can bounce back at any moment. I have myself. I have the same issues, but unlike Toy, I am on a 2-game win streak. I just made a big trade. I've got some new pieces. So I think that if I can keep it up and if I can make the playoffs, I'll be in a really good spot. Next, I have Peter. Peter continuing to impress me. His team is putting up numbers. He's got some guys. He's made great trades. His bum draft picks have come through. He got off Thielen right before his 3-point week.
Dylan had like an 11-point week.
Oh yeah, I forgot he had that late touchdown. My bad. But still, Peter, all around good team. I like his the moves he's made. Ben, 6. I'm glad I put him at 6 now that I have that Kamara knowledge. I think Kamara plays. I did a lot of research all day and I didn't see that. But Ben's team has struggled. He doesn't set a lineup. It's still hunting season. I don't know how that goes. Next, I have Chris. Chris's team stinks. His managerial abilities bad. But I think he does have Tom Brady coming back this week, along with the Tampa Bay offense, who's been his crutch, along with what's his name?
Debo.
Can't even remember his name. He's so irrelevant. That running back for Tennessee.
Oh.
So
McNichols?
Yeah, McNichols is playing,
Yeah.
so I think that could help out Chris. And then we go to Cole. Cole's team was a different quarterback away from scoring over 100 and being one of the only 3 teams scoring over 100. He has 2 quarterbacks. He chose the wrong one, but this would be a whole different conversation had he picked the right quarterback. So I've got Cole a little higher this week than I think a lot of people for that reason.
We have him the same.
I have him
I think he has
higher.
him higher.
Cole hates you, and I don't think this will help your case.
Love you, Cole. I got Nick at 9. After getting the lowest points performance of the year, it's hard to argue for his team. He's trying to get rid of Gibson, like I was trying to get rid of Damian Harris and DJ Moore. Gibson's got broken shins. I hope Nick's team can make a comeback. I think the league's more fun when Nick's in it, but I don't know. Berg, I think you made a really good trade today. I thought about keeping you out of 10 because of it, but your team still is bad. You now, Sabermetric, Berg has 1 remaining player from his draft, and it's his quarterback, who he tried desperately to get off today for Kyler, but my short king is staying put. So yeah, Berg, last place. If he loses this week, he will likely be maybe not mathematically eliminated, but virtually eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, that's about true. All right, I'll roll through mine. I got Milk at number 1. Love his wide receivers. I looked ahead. I get Booper Bup in a bye week. Didn't think I had a bunch of big, wins on the bye week, but with Booper Bup showing out this year, happy to go against Booper Bup in a bye, but love it. Christian McCaffrey, we'll see what they do with him. That could be an interesting piece because if they, try and limit how many carries to keep him healthy, he might not be the Christian McCaffrey of old. That's a, plug and play 30. So it'll be a fun storyline to watch. I had myself above Shaw last week in the power rankings. I love Shaw's team. And then I outperformed Shaw again this week. So I had to keep myself above him. So I have myself at 2, love my running backs. We'll see if there's any deals that make sense at this point, but that's where we're at. Number 3, I have Shaw. Once again, love Shaw's team. Jamar Chase has come back down to earth. So we will see what happens. Both him and I are actually the benefits of Antonio Brown still being in a walking boot. That's the only question that I have with the trade that Ben made today. If Kamara can't go and Antonio Brown can't go, he is in a potential world of hurt. And he has T. Higgins as is going from having Devontae Adams. T. Higgins is on bye.
Yeah.
So he goes from having Deontay Johnson, Antonio Brown to Devontae Adams to just having one of those guys. It will be very interesting to see if Ben sets a full lineup this week. But where I'm going with that is having Godwin and him having Evans. That gives us a big jolt. Number 4, I have Toy. Toy drafted he has been riding, he was riding Mike Williams and Marquise Brown very early on in the season, who he drafted 129th and 132nd. So shout out to Toy for those 2 draft picks for 2 guys who have been, pretty well studly this year. Obviously, they've fallen off a little bit, but Marquise Brown has turned into wide receiver 1 out there in Baltimore. Dan, I have at number 5. I would keep it there even after the trade. If Chubb can't go this weekend, it will be interesting to see what Dan does at RB2 if he doesn't get through COVID. And if that does end up costing him a victory, that could be an interesting storyline because he no longer has Damian Harris, where if he had Kamara, he could plug and play Damian Harris. So excited to see what develops there.
Damian Harris may not play this week. He's got a concussion.
Regardless, no matter what happens, it'll be interesting to see what Dan does at running back 2 this weekend.
McKissick.
6, McKissick, PPR God.
You're welcome.
At 6, we have Ben. For reasons I already mentioned, Najee's looking like a stud, top 5 running back in the league. Lamar I watched that Vikings Baltimore game. Lamar is so fun to watch. It is amazing how he just does not get hit. And even when he runs for 10 yards and looks like he's about to get hit, he doesn't. And it's amazing. But Lamar's a great fantasy quarterback like his team. And if he can set a full lineup, he might have to do some more lineup gymnastics this week, but we'll see what happens. Nick, I have at 7. 46 is not good. We all know that, but Nick did have a lot on bye. DeAndre Swift is coming back. The fact that James Conner went for 37 points and Chase Edmonds got nothing, peanuts compared to that. Did he break 1?
He got hurt on the first play.
Oh, he got hurt on the first play. I did not know that. So that is unfortunate. So maybe the game script was in Chase Edmonds' favor, and we'd have a very different outlook on Nick's team. But with guys he's got coming back, we'll see what Gibson can do after the bye. Nick obviously was very high on him during the draft if he got those shins back in order. Cole, I have at 8. Trounced him this week. Never after Thursday night, that game was over. Jonathan Taylor putting up 33, Michael Carter putting up 11. That game was well out of reach for Cole. But once again, he somehow has people continue to perform, so that's why he's not much further down. Chris, I have at 9. Dan, I'm with you. I'm not going to blackball him from any trades moving forward. Chris texted me this week that he believes he can get into the playoffs with his team. So don't expect any trades coming out from Chris anytime soon. Once again, if Tampa Bay doesn't go, nor does Chris, and even more so now because he does not have Henry for a plug and play 30. And Berg, I like your trade, and I think it actually makes a lot of sense for you. I just want to pause here real quick. Running backs that Berg drafted. First round, Berg drafted Ezekiel Elliott, number 6. In the third round at 26, he drafted Joe Mixon. He also drafted Darrell Henderson and Damian Harris. And he also at one point on his team had Tyreek Hill, Chris Godwin, and Deebo Samuel all on his team.
Oh my God.
So with the quarterback of Patrick Mahomes. So
he couldn't even start all those guys if he kept all his team.
Berg is potentially looking at easily the best lineup in the league, even with Nick or Dan getting Chubb those few weeks. So there has been a huge disconnect to what happened pre-draft and what happened post-draft in the world of Berg. But we'll see if he can turn it around and take it from there. But that's what I have from Power Rankings. Any last thoughts here, gentlemen? All right.
Let's keep her moving.
Here is the graph of what happened. We can see some big risers. Here's interesting. From when we started this, we have number 7, number 9, and number 10 are the new 1, 2, and 3.
What happened to 8?
Cole moved up to 7.
Let's go.
Cole moved up to 7. Berg started at 3 and is down to 10. He was tied with Ben that week. And Chris started at he started at 5, but he didn't make it up to 1. So very interesting trend lines. People we didn't think would break out, and they did. I think we all had faith in Milk that his team would turn around, especially if McCaffrey gets healthy. But very interesting graph lines here as we go through it. So, gentlemen, any thoughts on the power rankings here?
It's really pretty to look at.
I love the
inverse.
8 and 9 is the most like hectic of the graph.
Well, I think it goes to show that we are reactionary when somebody has a bad week, that we shuffle those. Like there's going to be more. If someone was bad and they have a better week, they're going to move from like 9 to 7. Whereas if someone's at like 3, there's going to be less movement at the beginning. Oh, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Yes. Shawl has just joined the podcast, Emily. Shawl, you are muted. We're going to move on to the Ass Man rankings, and then we're going to get into our matchup previews.
Yep, the Ass Table, obviously a big hit in our league. The numbers speak for themselves. Everyone should understand how to look at these at this point. I took a big hit getting that 0 for week 9. I could not claim that this was unlucky that I lost this week. I just didn't have a player score over 10. The biggest ones, Dan picking up a win, again being a bottom 5 scorer, is notable. Ben is the luckiest in the league. His schedule has been kind of cake. Me being part of that. So him getting up another win and being at 5 wins is impressive for him given his situation. And the boom bust, I will say, significantly. It is much lower for a boom and much because of how low scoring this week was. So it used to be over 140 for a boom, but that has fallen the last couple of weeks. So now some teams might have technically more boom weeks in the past as we restate history.
Wow, Milk is 6 and he has 6 wins, top of the league, and is expected to have another half win about.
Yeah. I mean, look at that point. His last 4 weeks, 0.9, 1.0, 0.8, 0.9. He's top 3 scorers in the league the last 4 weeks. I mean, and he's only going to get better with McCaffrey getting a full workload. So I don't see his team getting any worse anytime soon.
Agreed. Well, thanks for explaining to us in layman's terms what this all means, Nick. We know that we don't spend a lot of time on this slide every week, but the dedication that you put into this slide, we're going to give you a major award. To be named at a later date.
Is it that Berg will run the beer mile for me if I finish last?
Berg will give you whoever you want on his team for whoever you're willing to give him.
I'm not Dan. He won't do that for me.
Sean, it's been a minute.
How's it going?
Coming off a dub in the fantasy, an L in the Eagles, but hey, they put up a good fight. How was the Eagles game?
It was good. I don't remember all of it, but what I do remember was somewhat enjoyable.
All right. early life hearing or memory loss. Sorry to hear about that. All right, let's jump into matchup previews. So let's start where we don't have a dog in a fight. We know where we're going to end with. But let's start with a matchup I couldn't be less excited for. Berg versus Chris. I actually think this has a lot of implications. This almost a win by Chris could propel him into the playoffs, and a loss that would basically kick Berg to the curb. And not vice versa, but Berg still has life if he pulls this one off. And Chris may go into free fall. So who wants to lead us off here?
Sure. I will talk just a little bit because there isn't much to talk about. These teams aren't very good without Henry. It'll be interesting with Berg making this new trade. I probably won't switch up my picks around. I think there are two really good matchups this week, and there are three you don't want to watch or you want to look away from. And this is going to be one of the bad ones. I think Berg got unlucky once again. He missed out on having the bye week, the bye Mageddon for Chris. Chris got all of his guys back. I am going to take Chris in this. And I will say 1 second. I will say that Berg is out. He is not going to make the playoffs. I will bet a lot that he will not. 2-7. He would have to go 4-0 in the next 4.
He basically have to win out the rest of the season.
Yeah, and maybe with his drafted team he might, but he doesn't have those anymore.
Dan, what do you got?
Yeah, I think even with the trade that Berg made today, it's not going to propel his team high enough. It's nice that he might have a running back to replace Chubb. Maybe this will be the DJ Moore revenge game that I've been waiting weeks and weeks for, but I don't see it. I got Chris in this one.
Yeah. I basically have a note down. I said, I kind of wish that there was a last place because I think this game would be a lot more exciting if we had a last place, because I have basically battle for last. I think the loser of this game has a high chance of being 10th in the league. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
Bummer we can't have a last place punishment. Too bad one of these podcast mates, big old pussy, and didn't want to do it.
All right, I'd like to take that out of here. If you've got issues with people on the podcast, please make a meme about them. But Shaw, who was your pick?
It's Chris.
It's Chris. I'm going to take the Iceman in this one. I think that he does pull this off. He is getting. I think Damian Harris has a decent game. Aaron Jones should have a decent game. Elijah Mitchell against the Rams does scare me. And with Tyler Lockett and Emmanuel Sanders, I think this game comes down to if he can get a boom out of Tyler Lockett or Emmanuel Sanders. And so against the Jets, potentially good matchup, but that could be a run early game. You know, they could be running the ball early. So I am going to take Bergman in this one. Dan, were you going to say something?
I think the Jets are going to put up some numbers this week. I think they're
okay.
going to.
We are going to move along to another one of the dog in the fight on, and that is Milkman versus Cole. So who would like to start us off?
Yeah, I could kick us off here. I think that I think Rodgers will be back. I don't see Cole's team pulling it together. I think Michael Carter has a big week. I think Keenan Allen's going to be good. Mike Gesicki has proven he's going to be good. I think Cole's going to put up some decent numbers, but I think that the Milkman has the advantage. He has the players, and I think he's going to pull through. James Conner playing as the sole back in Arizona, where Kyler may or may not play, is going to be big for Milk.
I'll go next. By far and away, I have Milk.
Yeah.
Dan's. Oh yeah, you can go, Shaw.
I said the same thing last time I was on. Milkman has scored the highest points this year for a reason. And Cole's team is not good, so I'm taking Milkman.
I'm taking Milk, but let's not let that distract us from Dan claiming he was the highest on Cole, which he wasn't, and then immediately leads into Cole, your team stinks. I'm not picking you. So
Oh,
Cole,
that's the other story.
your old roommate has not been very
Well,
kind to
don't
you.
listen to them. They're just trying to break up our friendship. It's so gross of them.
Peter, I do have to say, I did write this down. So the line on this game is 19.8 points. I would bet my car that Cole covers because that man puts up points somehow. He loses, but he puts up points. I would bet anything that he covers.
I'll bet you $5 he doesn't.
Done.
What's the spread? 19 and a half?
19.8.
19.8.
Book it. Well,
Okay.
nice bet, Shaw, because he doesn't even have a kicker starting yet. So Shaw, the real line should be like 10. Nice bet there.
Whoa.
I don't mind that bet even at 19.8.
No,
I would take.
Dan, I will adjust it when he puts a kicker in.
Whoa, nice guy.
Whoa!
Wow.
All right.
I'm that confident in my boy Cole.
To cover now, what, 10?
We'll just call it. What do you want to call it? We'll call it. 13.
Let's call it 11.
We'll call it
Let's
13. I'll give you a couple extra points because I'm the nice guy.
All right.
No,
13,
Shaw is still the nice guy in this one.
13 points.
All right. I like where this is going. We'll get a little more into this, but we haven't even gotten to their matchup. So we've got Milk across the board in that one. I think this is one of the two that you think is juicy. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Nick.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
So,
I think
bring
this is the second juicy matchup.
All right. Walk us through it.
Yeah, Ben's team is going to look a lot different though. So let's see. Chris Carson's going to be switched into Kamara. Devontae Adams is going to be switched into who? Who is he getting as?
Maybe
Higgins.
Sterling Shepard because Higgins is on bye.
And Brown's still in a walking boot.
Brown's in a walking boot. Gage.
Carson's at. If Kamara doesn't play,
Kamara doesn't.
Oh my goodness. It's an interesting, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, there is a very good chance that Ben is going to have some holes this week. I originally picked him, but I might be flipping here mid pick 'em, and I'm going to take Toy. I think Ben's going to have too many holes to fill with these potential injuries.
Yeah, Shaw. We'll get into the trade. I'm very curious of what your opinions are of it when you and I talk about our matchup, how you feel about our matchup after you know about the trade. But to fill you in, Ben will no longer have Chris Carson or Devontae Adams. He will have Alvin Kamara and T. Higgins.
that trade doesn't make sense to me. For him.
He's getting an upgrade at running back.
But after a week, Carson could put up good numbers. If he
but he can put Carson in the flex.
He won't
He
have.
doesn't have him
He
anymore.
doesn't have Carson. He traded
Or
Carson.
wait, say it again. Who'd you trade him for?
So he is receiving
T. Higgins.
Kamara and T. Higgins. T. Higgins is on bye. Kamara might not play allegedly.
Oh, so you're
finding out about
you're
that.
basically I mean,
It's a 3-team trade, so we're going to get into
downgrade at running back, but
Shaw, I'm going to text you a picture of the trade.
Yeah.
okay.
So that
I gotta go with Toy on this one. I think Ben might have another week where he's not able to start something because he's going to be filling holes. I mean, Antonio Brown likely not to play, and if Kamara can't go and you take Devontae Adams out of that lineup, you're taking out a 17.4, and that's 4 points more than any one of his receivers is. Now I'm not going like, oh, whatever projected points, but that's 4 points more than any one of his receivers projected. That is to sit on Carson that long and to get rid of Devontae Adams in that trade is fascinating to me. I think and to know that the Saints offense could be at a stalling point without a quarterback is a fascinating trade.
Shaw,
Is
Photo?
Chris Carson gonna play this week?
We don't know.
He's gonna
Allegedly,
practice.
yes.
So Dan, is your plan to play Harris if Carson doesn't play?
I don't have Chris Carson. Did you get the text? I have neither of those players in this trade.
It's a 3-teamer. Something to break walls
You
in
get
this
shoved?
league.
Yeah, so he gets
Dan,
chucked
who do you
this-
have this week?
I've in this matchup.
Yep.
Toy.
Shaw, who
Wow.
do you have?
On the spot. Half
I'm
the
still
team
trying to
isn't in his
figure out-
lineup.
I'm confused by the team. So I'm looking. So basically, Ben now doesn't have a running back. Oh, he has Kamara and T Higgins, and minus Devontae Adams. And yeah,
Is on bye.
I'm taking Toy.
All right. Let it be known that we might have an extra expert prognosticator in our hand. I'm not talking about myself for going 5-0. I'm talking about Toy. Shaw. Last time he was on, he went 4-1. Best prognosticating in the game. All right. Let's go to the second, one that is going to have some fireworks around it, but we want to save the real deal for the end because these two never get into it, and we'll.
Oh my
Oh, wait,
god.
whoa. Sorry. Oh, I meant to go here. Nick, lead us off.
I stink. I will tell you right now, this is not going to be my lineup for this week. I am in trade talks with about 3 or 4 people right now. I need to do something to pull off a win because again, I do not think I can't lose this week or else I basically am ruling myself out. So I think I need to make a move ASAP, and I will do it either tonight over the poker table. Maybe we go back to that cigar bar where Dan and I had a rough end to our night this weekend. Who knows? Some deal will be made from my lens. So I think it'll be a little bit of a tougher choice when I make that deal, whatever it is. Given this lineup situation, Pete is going to crush me. So I will take Pete.
Yeah, as the resident second person in this game here. Once again, I'm going to take myself here. I've ridden myself to a 4-game winning streak. Dalvin Cook, I made a projection last week that Dalvin Cook and Jonathan Taylor would each put up over 20. I was wrong. Jonathan Taylor put up 33 and Dalvin Cook put up about 13. So average that out, 20 points will create it in the aggregate. Excited to see what Chris Godwin does for the first time on my team this go around. And I like the matchups that I got. I think Dak. Oh, here's the last sabermetric on my team. Dak Prescott had 4 points going into with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 2 garbage time touchdowns. Got him and propelled him up to 18 points last week. So shout out Dak. Shaw, Toy. Why do I keep calling you? Why do I keep calling someone Toy? Shaw.
Yeah. Well, so little note here. The last game, Nick won by over 30 points. This time I wouldn't be surprised if Peter wins by 30. I think the line's at 11.5. I would hammer the over.
Can we scroll down? I want to look at Nick's bench for a second. Ew. So I think that Nick knows he needs to make a trade, and I think that Nick is going to get crafty in those trade talks. I think I just don't see much Nick can do to bolster his starting lineup enough to win this game. Swift against Pittsburgh defense is going to be one of his killers. I've got Peter in this one.
Yeah, Gibson against Tampa Bay is not a great matchup either.
If Gibson is starting on Nick's team at game time, it's a guaranteed loss. So,
Nick, I'm sorry, buddy.
Hey, it's been a tough season.
Last week I said I was picking with my head and my heart, or with not my heart. This week I was picking with my head and my heart. So we'll see what happens. When I'm not. All right. Well, the fireworks are here. First off, Shaw, I see you change your name to Half and Half. Was that for any specific reason?
No reason at all.
Okay. All right. Which one of you gentlemen want to lead us off here in what I am coining as the best matchup of the week?
Yeah, I'll let you start there, boss.
All right.
Read it out.
Little stat for you. I've outscored Dan now 5 weeks straight. Dan's team is the most poorly coached team I've ever seen in my life. Worse than Adam Gay's, worse than that bump they have there now. He's basically the Jets. Actually, no, I take it back. He has talent, but they just still suck. I don't care if he gets every fucking starting Pro Bowler on this team this year. He still won't put up points. I think I'm missing this week Mixon and Chase. Doesn't matter. I only need to put up over 70 points to beat that bump. Hammer the over. I think it's giving me 8.6. I would take me getting 8.6 or giving Dan 8.6. It's not even going to be close. His team's trash. He might not even make the playoffs. He's the biggest letdown of the season.
Shaw, you're very familiar with Meek Mill. When he starts his songs and there's like an intro of some nonsense, that's what I'm going to put in my rap song that I create when I beat your ass next week. That monologue was beautiful. It's probably the best words you've ever put together in your life. And I'm glad you're really pulling it together for this fantasy matchup, but it's not going to be enough. Your team has gotten lucky, and the players that have propelled you into luck are sitting on bye week. I've got Devontae Adams coming in to replace, I've been wanting to say this for weeks, bum-ass DJ Moore. Chubb may not play, but if he does, you might as well not even bother starting a lineup because it's over. You aren't favored in many positions. You won't end the week favored in many positions. And this will be a return to glory for my team. I've got me, and I've got me winning handily.
Who do you guys picking?
Yeah, I'm picking myself. And when I win, I'm going to send Dan a gallon and a half.
Hey, side bet. What do you want to do?
Lifetime supply half and half.
Buddy, that's going to be a lot if you're buying it from me. We'll talk. There will be a side bet for this one, and it will be juicy.
Peter, as the voice of reason, who do you got?
I didn't realize Chase and Mixon were on bye.
I also did not, and I have Shaw written down, and I am quickly trying to decide if I want to switch over to Dan.
Nick pulled this earlier this year. And I'm going to do it this week. So before I get to that, the trade I thought that Dan and Shaw could make that would help them both was Kamara and DJ Moore for Henderson and Chase. I don't know if Shaw accepts that, but I thought that was an interesting trade proposition.
Never accept that. That DJ Moore is a bum. The man can't score over 10 points. I wouldn't let him on my practice squad.
Me neither.
Okay, you had him in his line. You still have him in your starting lineup.
Yeah, Dan tried to make a bet with me a couple of weeks ago that DJ Moore would outscore Chase in the remaining of the season.
And Emmanuel Sanders puts up 5 on a bad week. So, anywho, I'm going to pull a Nick this week, and I'm going to say I want to back Shaw this week, but I'm picking based off if Chubb plays. If Chubb plays, my pick is Dan. If Chubb does not play, my pick is Shaw.
I will do a similar one because, hey, you and me both. We both don't want to pick the king. We want to pick Shaw.
The king is dead. The king's been
Yeah, the king is dead. Exactly. I don't want to
Very
pick him.
much alive. The king.
Oh, sorry. I was referring to Shaw. Shaw's well.
I will also do one, but it's going to be a little different. It's not going to be about Chubb. It's going to be about Aaron Rodgers, the reigning MVP. If he plays this week, I will pick Dan. If he does not play this week, I will pick Shaw.
Okay. I like that.
He is trending towards being cleared on Saturday. Who knows? He's kind of become a whack job, but he's still great at football.
And he loves Devontae Adams.
Big development is, Dan now has to cheer for a Packer. So I'll let you borrow my Devontae Adams jersey any weekend you want.
I might need it.
Probably will. What are our thoughts on Mike White Lightning?
Can't
Is he
wait. To see him. I think
Is he coming back?
Back against Buffalo, and he fucking eats.
I have a separate question I wrote down for everyone. I would like their picks. Okay. Since I guess it's not going to work exactly for us, it's more for Dan and myself. But actually, it might work this next week. Out of Mike White, Jalen Hurts, and Jordan Love, who would you pick for your franchise quarterback?
That's disgusting.
Mike White. And hey, Nick Peter, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. By the way, this is all our futures here we're talking about.
I know.
So I'm very interested.
I would go Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts has been a god in fantasy, but he has been garbage if you've watched even a half of Eagles football
Their team
games. And I don't.
stinks, though. I think him in a decent system is better.
You guys watched him last week? The man was on fire.
Last week against the Lions,
No. Against
the Chargers.
Chargers.
I did not watch the game specifically, but I know he is not.
best game of the year so far.
And I will just back that up by Shaw did claim that he remembers part of the game.
I
True.
watched the game today while I was working out.
Oh, you rewatched it?
Oh, nice flex that you worked out. I am going to take Jordan Love. I think, hey, they weren't expecting them to rush the quarterback as much as they did. I'm not going to take a journeyman quarterback that has been on 3 or 4 teams.
He's been cut by. We're talking Mike White. Yeah, he's been cut by the same team before.
Yeah.
Mike White is an easy no. If I had to choose after last weekend based off of the performances, man, that's a tough one. But I don't mind.
Tough one. So, what if Jordan Love's part of this? Are you narrowing it down between Mike White and Hurts or what?
No, Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts.
Interesting. Dan, your pick?
I'll take Mr. White.
And the misery for 10 more years, he goes.
Or you could have Sam Darnold. Can we throw that into the 4? Because I think he is.
Have you burned that jersey yet?
No, me realizing Sam Darnold might not be good at football is like a flat earther getting up into a balloon and seeing the curve. I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm dying. Oh.
All right. Last thing to recap, our picks from last week. Nick 3-2 improves to 17-13. Dan 2-3.
Jesus, Peter.
18. And your boy 5-0. First 5-0 we've had this year. Helps me get almost back to 500. And we'll see what happens this next week. I don't expect to go 5-0 this next week. Any other thoughts for our listeners?
I just want to know why Berg is allowed to still make trades.
Yeah, I've quickly realized Dan fleeced Berg in that trade. Berg did not get that good of a return.
Berg gets Carson, who is horrible, DJ Moore, who can't score over 10 points, and a bum Harris that you can pick up basically on the waiver wire. So I'm not sure what Berg's plan is. I'm pretty sure Dan's paying him at this point because now this is like the 3rd time that he's made a horrible trade with Dan. So,
I don't understand the pressure to trade Chubb. Yes, he's in a must-win situation, but he's going to get the same haul if Chubb is ruled out on Thursday.
Yeah, and he's getting Carson, who might not play. So
You
what's
could even make that trade
True.
at 11:59 on game time, and Dan will still push it through.
and also you don't know if Carson's even going to be healthy after this week. Chubb just has a little case of COVID. He still might. I you only need what, a 24-hour when you're
Yeah, he
benching.
needs two back to back in 24 hours difference. So it's Tuesday. He could easily play.
Yeah,
this.
exactly. I bet I think Chubb will play.
I've
So-
got some more. I've got some more text for you that I can just read really quick. This is a good one. I was texting Berg today about a trade. Said he was inquiring about could you trade either of my running backs for Chubb and one of my tight ends? Doesn't make sense for me to do. And I tell him, you realize Chubb can still play this weekend. Yes, I can't risk it, but you will know by Thursday, so you can make the same trade Thursday. I'm willing to make this trade because Chubb's status is unknown. This all makes sense.
I would have given him Henderson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Chubb.
And the last thing that he says is, I'm under pressure to make a deal soon. So I don't know what is happening on those phone calls, but it seems like there is maybe some
Collusion.
I don't want to go as far as saying that if I had to equate Dan to a team, I would call him the Washington football team, and I'd like to see his emails. But I am calling his tactics into question because I do not understand the urgency to trade Chubb. The deal doesn't make sense for either of those. Whatever, you get Damian Harris, but even Ben, T. Higgins on bye. You're giving up Devontae Adams to get Kamara? I mean, whatever. Kamara's good, but I'm right.
Yeah. He's giving away his best wide receiver, and I guess he increases that running back, but Carson's coming back. I mean,
I think it's a pretty good trade for all three parties.
Explain.
basically,
No, Shaw, I'm going to cut you off. Explain.
I don't need to.
You rank them all super low. You don't think it improves their team.
Well, I just think the rest of their team is so bad that it's hard to make it up with one trade. Hey, I thought you were going to make a good trade, but I didn't think it'd be enough. They made good trades. It's just not enough.
Can we maybe institute a vote against trades in the future?
No.
No, that's stupid.
no, I don't like that, but there maybe should be a trade deadline here coming up.
There is. It's coming up.
Okay.
Isn't it like 3 weeks away?
December 3rd. Maybe next year we have it a little sooner.
Most leagues I'm in are like either this week or next.
Well, we'll vote on it next year.
That
All
works.
right, let's wrap it up, boys.
Let's
All
play
right.
some cards.
All right, later, guys.